I'm not the type of guy who believes in fate, deadlines, hard work. But there are moments in life that feel like someone wrote them for you anyway. It started at the university, on a day I was already nervous. My professor, Dr. Harlan Reed, was the kind of man who made you feel small without raising his voice. He was smart, cold, and always watching. I was in his class because I needed one final credit to graduate. One credit, one grade, and then I could finally move on. I sat in the second row like I always did. I took notes. I kept my head down because I had a secret. And in that classroom, secrets felt dangerous. I didn't talk much, not because I had nothing to say, but because I was scared of saying the wrong thing. The secret wasn't criminal. It wasn't violent. It was just personal. It was the kind of truth that could change how people looked at me, and I didn't want anyone looking too closely. After class that day, Dr. Reed called me to his office. He didn't ask. He didn't smile. He just said, "Ryan, come see me." My stomach dropped. I walked through the hallway with my backpack heavy on my shoulder. Not heavy because of books, heavy because of fear. When I knocked, he answered quickly. "Come in." His office smelled like old paper and black coffee. He didn't offer me a chair at first. He just stared at my file. Then he said, "You're doing fine in class." I nodded. "Thank you, sir." He looked up, and his eyes didn't feel like teacher eyes. They felt like judge eyes. Then he asked, "Are you distracted lately?" My heart beat once, hard. "No, sir," I said. He leaned back. "I'm hosting a small dinner this weekend," he said. "Faculty and family. I want you there." I blinked. "Me?" "Yes," he said. "It's an opportunity. Don't waste it." I should have said no. I should have made an excuse. But in college, when a powerful professor invites you to something, you don't reject it easily. So I nodded. "Okay, good," he said. "Saturday, 7 p.m. I'll send the address." I left his office with my hands shaking because I didn't know what he wanted from me, and not knowing was worse than knowing. Saturday came fast. I told myself it was just a dinner, food, small talk, networking. But as I drove there, my chest felt tight. The house was bigger than I expected. Warm lights, perfect lawn, quiet street. I parked and walked to the front door. Before I could knock, it opened. And that's when I saw her. She stood there like she belonged in a different world. Her name was Elena Reed. I didn't know her name yet, but I knew something immediately. She wasn't a student. She wasn't faculty. She was older than me. Not old, just older in a way that felt calm and sure. Early 40s, maybe. Dark hair, soft eyes, a kind smile that didn't feel fake. She looked at me and said, "You must be Ryan." I froze, because I hadn't introduced myself. I hadn't spoken. I forced a polite smile. "Yes, ma'am." She shook her head. "Don't call me ma'am," she said, still smiling. "Come in." Her voice was gentle, but my skin still tingled, like something about her was too precise. As I stepped inside, she turned and walked a few steps ahead. Then she said something that made my stomach twist. "You're early," she said. "That means you're nervous." I swallowed. A little. She glanced back, and her eyes studied my face like she was reading a page. Then she said, "It's okay. I hate these things too." That surprised me, because she didn't seem like the type who hated anything. The living room was full of people in nice clothes, quiet laughter, glasses clinking. I saw Dr. Reed across the room, talking to a colleague. He looked at me, then nodded once. Not friendly, approval. Elena guided me toward the kitchen. "You can stay near the snacks," she said softly. "It's the safest place at parties." I laughed, a small, nervous sound. She smiled like she'd won something. Then she asked, "What are you studying?" I told her. She nodded. And then she said, "My brother talks about you." I blinked. "He does?" She nodded again. "He says you're smart and that you don't like attention." My throat went dry. I tried to keep my expression normal. "I don't know what to say." "Say nothing," she said quietly. "I understand." That's when I noticed something else. Elena wasn't wearing a wedding ring. I don't know why I noticed, I just did. Maybe because I was trying to find something normal in a room that felt like pressure. Dinner started. People sat in groups. I ended up at a table with Dr. Reed, 2 faculty members, and Elena. Elena sat beside me, not too close, but close enough that I could smell her perfume. Clean, soft, like warm soap. Dr. Reed spoke about research and funding. Everyone listened. I smiled when I was supposed to. But my mind stayed on one thing: how Elena knew my name before I spoke. Halfway through dinner, Dr. Reed excused himself to take a call. The moment he left, the air changed. Elena turned slightly toward me and lowered her voice. "Ryan," she said, "I'm going to say something and you're not going to panic." My heart jumped. "Okay." She held my gaze. "I know your secret." My entire body went cold. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. She raised a hand, calm. "I'm not here to hurt you," she said, "and I'm not here to embarrass you." "Then how do you know?" I whispered. She looked down at her plate, then back up. "Because I saw you last month," she said. I stared. "Where?" She gave a small, sad smile. "At the clinic." My breath caught. No one was supposed to see me there. I went to that clinic because it was private, because I thought it was safe, because I thought it meant I could control my life. Elena leaned in slightly. "You don't have to explain," she said. "I know what it feels like to hide something just to survive people's opinions." I swallowed. "Why are you telling me now?" "Because you're sitting next to my brother," she said, "and he thinks secrets are weaknesses." I felt heat rise in my face. "So you told him?" "No," she said immediately. "I would never." I stared at her. "Then why am I here?" Elena's eyes softened. "Because I think he invited you for a reason," she said, "and I wanted to see if you were safe." Safe. The word sounded strange in that house. Dr. Reed returned to the table. Elena leaned back and smiled politely, like nothing happened. I tried to breathe, but my head was spinning. After dinner, people moved into the living room for coffee. Dr. Reed approached me. "Ryan," he said, "come with me." My stomach dropped again. I followed him down a hallway to his office. He closed the door behind us. Then he looked at me like he was measuring my future. "I'm considering you for a recommendation," he said. "A strong one." My heart thudded. "Thank you, sir. But," he continued, "I need to know something." I swallowed. He stepped closer. "Are you the kind of person who can be trusted, Ryan?" My mouth went dry. "Yes." He stared. "Are you hiding anything that could embarrass me?" That word hit hard. Embarrass. I felt the secret rise in my throat like acid. I couldn't lie fast enough, but I also couldn't tell him. Then a voice came from the doorway. "Harlan," Elena said. We both turned. Elena stood there, calm, but her eyes were sharp. "You're making him uncomfortable," she said. Dr. Reed's jaw tightened. "This is my student." "And he's a person," Elena replied, "not a project." Silence stretched. Dr. Reed looked at me. "Go join the others," he said. I didn't wait. I walked out fast. My hands were shaking. Elena followed me into the hallway. She didn't touch me. She didn't crowd me. She just walked beside me like she was guarding space around me. When we reached the kitchen, she spoke quietly. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't know he'd corner you like that." I tried to breathe. "Why does he care so much?" I asked. Elena's face tightened. "Because he's obsessed with control," she said, "and because he's afraid of looking weak." I looked at her. "And you?" She hesitated. "I'm afraid too," she admitted. "Just not of the same thing." I didn't know what to say, so I said the truth. "Thank you for stepping in." Elena nodded. Then she said, "Ryan, I need you to listen." "Okay. If my brother asks you anything personal again, you say this. You say, 'I'm here to learn, not to confess.'" I blinked. "That will make him angry." "Yes," she said, "but it will also make him stop." I swallowed. "Why are you helping me?" Elena looked away for a second. Then she looked back, and her voice got quieter. "Because someone should have helped me when I was your age." That sentence landed heavy, and suddenly her kindness felt like it had a history. Guests started leaving. People said goodbyes, shook hands. I waited near the door, ready to escape. Dr. Reed came over, polite smile. "Good night, Ryan. Think about what I said." I nodded. "Yes, sir." Then Elena stepped closer, just enough to be heard only by me. "Text me when you get home," she whispered. I blinked. "What?" "So I know you're safe," she said. "And because I don't trust him when he looks like that." My chest tightened. "You want my number?" She gave a small smile. "I already have it." I froze. "How?" Elena shrugged lightly. "You wrote it on the sign-in form at the clinic," she said softly. "Relax. I won't use it against you." I stared at her. My secret, my number, my life, all in her hands. And yet I didn't feel threatened. I felt seen. I walked out into the night. The air was cold. I got in my car and sat there for a full minute without turning the key. Then I drove home. When I reached my apartment, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. It said, "Home yet?" My heart jumped. I typed back, "Yes." A moment later, 3 dots appeared. Then her message came. "Good. Don't let him take your peace, and don't let fear decide your life." I stared at the screen, because no one had ever spoken to me like that. Not like a student, not like a child, like a person who mattered. I should have put the phone down. I should have ended it there. But I didn't. I typed, "Thank you." Her reply came fast. "You're welcome. And Ryan, your secret is safe with me." I breathed out slowly. Because in that moment, the taboo wasn't attraction. The taboo was trust. The kind of trust that makes you feel exposed and protected at the same time. Epilogue. The next Monday in class, Dr. Reed looked at me longer than usual, like he was trying to decide whether I was loyal or dangerous. After class, my phone buzzed again. A new message from Elena. It said, "He's watching you. Be careful. And if you need help, you tell me before you try to handle it alone." I stared at the message. Then I looked up, and across the hallway, Dr. Reed was standing there, watching.